The following special presentation is rated E for excellence. Welcome to the 2021 Model of Excellence Awards. The President's Model of Excellence Award is Newport News Shipbuilding's most prestigious employee recognition award. This award pays tribute to shipbuilders who give 110%, challenge the status quo, not only dream the impossible, but work to make it a reality, and lead the way each and every day.
Excellence means to be a master of your craft, to be the best at what you do.
I think that every single person employed here plays a part in making us the shipyard that we are with our reputation. Everybody needs to make sure that they come in every single day, not to be recognized, just to do the job, to make sure that they're doing the best that they can to set their teams up for success.
Shipbuilding is important. You know, the shipyard has a big piece. There are other people that laid the foundation that I'm walking on now. And I just hope that, you know, with our team and the things that we're doing, that we're helping to continue to build up the foundation that they've laid and taking it further and doing better, you know, because it's our job to build these great ships for the Navy, you know, for the sailors, you know, and for the military to protect us. You know, it means a lot to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's totally amazing what we do, and the people that we work with are just incredible. You know, I've worked with some just phenomenal people, so smart and so capable, and it's so cool to see people be able to be recognized for this awesome work that we do. But even beyond that, not just the people who were chosen for the award, but the people who do stuff every day that we don't even notice because they're keeping things running so smoothly. There's nothing to notice, to go wrong, because it's just a well-oiled machine, you know? It's amazing what we do.
I think there's a lot of dedication and pride that goes into what we're doing every day, and just to come in and build the best quality we can is very important to our customer and to our Navy.
I definitely don't take it lightly. I think it's an amazing accomplishment. It's something, going into a project, you don't think like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get an MOE. So just knowing that you did something that was so important and that people recognize your effort, it's an amazing feeling, amazing accomplishment.
And now, your 2021 Model of Excellence honorees. 23 nominations in all. 394 shipbuilders who, despite numerous challenges and even a pandemic, have set the bar high and have delivered in their never-ending commitment of always good ships. Navy contracts keep Newport News Shipbuilding afloat, and the first team of Model of Excellence honorees being recognized secured a $2.2 billion contract for Columbia-class submarine construction, a contract that provides stability and jobs for thousands of shipbuilders. Please welcome Travis Williams to tell us more about this team's efforts.
The team, and it's not just me and my team in the finance side, but it's really a cross-functional team across really all functions that support Columbia construction. What that team did was, you know, from the start, we developed a proposal to submit to our customer Electric Boat for, you know, the construction of the Columbia modules that we're delivering to them. After the proposal was submitted, we negotiated. There's a lot of interaction with the Navy in that process, and ultimately, over the course of about, call it a year and a half, from, you know, start of proposal development to contract award, we worked with our customer to get a contract that is, you know, good for the company, that, you know, financially makes sense. And like I said, a lot of folks went into that, not just myself, a great group of people that work well together. You know, you have representatives from contracts, finance, the program office, construction, engineering, planning, you know, you name it. It takes that many people to come together to put together the proposal and negotiate the contract and ultimately end up with an award that's going to help the company and bring jobs in. Yeah, I mean, it's really critical. This contract was for the first 2 boats of the class. You know, there's 10 boats in the Navy plan after that. So it's incredibly critical to bring in work on these first 2 boats to set ourselves up for work really into the 2030s on the remaining 10 boats. So it was a big win for the company to get the work in and set ourselves up for the future. It takes a different perspective, right, because we haven't built it before. We have a lot of experience in building submarines, but this submarine is much different than a Virginia class. So the way the team approached it was to take our experience gained across 20 years of building Virginia class and apply the lessons learned there to the things that were similar on Columbia, but also take a totally different view on the things that are different and make sure there was good, fresh ideas to address those issues. Winning an award like this really fuels you for the future. It gives you that pat on the back that helps you pick yourself up after a long, difficult effort, long hours, a lot of late nights, and do it all over again the next time it comes up, because it's a satisfying pat on the back for a good effort.
Congratulations to Travis and the contracts team. Columbia-class submarines are a top Navy priority, and this next team of shipbuilders reconfigured 2 massive fixtures that allowed NNS to meet a tight schedule for this critical program. Representing these shipbuilders is Tom Herbert.
The Joint Manufacturing Assembly Facility, JMAF, is a large capital expansion of the shipyard, in part to support the increased workload from Columbia-class. So Columbia-class is a next-generation submarine for launching nuclear ballistic missiles. It's a very, very important government program because that's a capability we can't afford to lose. I spent 6 years in a new design on Columbia-class before I got here to facilities, and now I'm helping build the manufacturing equipment that we're going to use to build the submarines. So I was the project manager for this effort, and really the center point for the technical knowledge and the planning and all that. But what made this project possible was the team. It was an excellent team to work with, had a group of engineers, group of mechanics, group of riggers, and they made it happen. The purpose of the project was to get one of the Columbia modules started on time to support the overall boat schedule. We were given 11 weeks to get a fixture converted over from a Virginia-class stern to a Columbia-class bow, which we had never done before. Had to figure out the complete technical scope of work, all of the technical steps that had to happen, mitigate all the risks along the way, sequence the work with the available resources and footprint. Big challenge. Yeah, one of the things we were very deliberate about with this project was leaving behind breadcrumbs for the next time that this has to be done in a really deliberate, structured way. There are 16 possible reconfigurations that could be done. This is probably one of the hardest that we had to do. Some of them are significantly easier, some of them are pretty close, but leaving behind good notes and good lessons learned on everything we did so that next time it's easier. So for me, the work we accomplished was the achievement, not the recognition. The recognition is the cherry on top, and super grateful and humbled for that. And we had everything that we needed to pull it off, and I think that's why we were successful.
Thank you, Tom, and congratulations to the entire team for this extraordinary achievement. Another win for Newport News Shipbuilding came in the form of new subsafe inspection reports. In response to a Navy stop order last year on in-service submarine work, a team of shipbuilders worked not only to revise the reports, but invent a new process and training to get in-service submarine work back on track. Representing the team is Carly Cole.
Back in May of last year, we had a NAVSEA audit, and they came to check out how well we were doing with subsafe, which is submarine safety. It's a special requirement for certain systems and components on a submarine that help a submarine to reach the surface if anything were to happen. So these are the systems that are very crucial to the submarine. With subsafe work, there are extra requirements we have to meet for these systems, and and that requires a higher level of objective quality evidence, or OQE. We were having a lot of challenges trying to maintain this OQE and keep up with how many things we had to document, because it was kind of all over the place. So they tasked engineering with providing what we call enhanced inspection reports, or enhanced IRs, and those are more detailed, more technical, include more signature lines. It's a way for us to give trades direction in a simplified voice, but a lot more detailed manner. And our job was to come up with a solution to get all the engineering workforce up to date on these new enhanced IRs in a very short amount of time. So my colleague and I had been working together for as long as I've been here in the yard, and his insight was very invaluable into creating this workbook, this project. I rely on him a lot for technical guidance and advising. He's a good teammate. And then I trained about 200 engineers over the course of about 2 months. And me, as a brand new engineer of the company, never done any kind of training, this was a huge task, but it was something I was really passionate about and something I was really interested in. When you're working on the project for so long, you see it every day, you kind of don't really see the importance or the effects of it until much later. So while I was doing it, it was kind of just, grinding away, doing the job I was given, but looking back on it, you can really see the effects that it had. For it to get an award this high is really, really cool. Definitely was not expecting it, and I'm very honored.
Congratulations to Carly Cole and Stephen Malsbury. Our next group of honorees improved how coatings are applied to Virginia-class submarine hulls. The team addressed numerous issues, ultimately discovering a science-based digital solution that will transform how technical information is conveyed to the deck plate. Please welcome Brian Staha to tell us more about this transformational process.
I work at the foundry. We use a simulation software to predict the liquid metal pours that we do. And there's another group of engineers that I found out that work with Virginia-class submarines that pour a liquid polymer mixture onto the hull of the submarines. And they wanted to try something different. They've kind of been encountering problems with that, so they reached out to the engineering team at the foundry, and they said, hey, can you help us out with this? So I knew it was going to be a big challenge, and my software is really only set up for metals, so to kind of adapt it to work for the polymers was a huge challenge in itself. And I had my doubts at the beginning. I was like, well, we'll try our best. We'll give it a solid shot to see if we can help you. And then, we kept going. We kept working together as a team. We had people that looked into getting the properties that I needed for the simulation. We had kind of real-time feedback where I'd run a simulation and then they would do the pour in real life, and I'd get feedback from that. I'd give kind of feedback to them, and we'd go back and forth with the real-time pours and the simulation, where we were able to kind of hone it in together to produce something that was actually predictive software, so that they could use it down on the deck plate, so that they could help the trades and the engineering team for the Virginia-class subs to give them meaningful results. It was a surprise, definitely. I got brought on to the project very early on, probably maybe a month or so after I started, and I didn't even know what a model of excellence was at the time when I was working on it. And we encountered a lot of challenges, and just kind of working through it with the team, we were able to succeed and actually have milestones that we accomplished. And then we got nominated for the Model of Excellence, and it was an honor and a surprise.
Thank you, Brian, and congratulations to the team. Staying on schedule is vital to meeting our Navy commitments, but not to the detriment of quality. A team of shipbuilders accomplished 2 critical welds concurrently, achieving pressure hull complete on a Virginia-class submarine in record time with best ever cost performance and first-time quality. Joining us to share more about this amazing feat is Stanley Britt.
Welding is very important to shipbuilding. That's the part of module coming together, putting it together, and staying together. This whole thing about the pressure hull complete on the New Jersey, it was a great accomplishment because of the fact that what we tried to do was make schedule, and then you got the pandemic going on at that time, not knowing who can come to work. And the team that our leadership put together, you know, we got together and we started working, and it was like everybody had confidence in one another. And you're talking about pretty much linear feet, it's about a mile, inside and out. And to be able to have that much weld go in and out, and then you only have like 42 inches to come back bad, you know. And just not one person, you're talking a multitude of people that's working on that. And so you're looking at if you could stretch it out 1 mile long and just take that 42 inches and put wherever you want to put it at, you will see how great accomplishment that was, you know. And the team is proud, man. I can tell you they're proud, you know. Just submarine in particular, it's just, you know, what a submarine actually has to do. You know, you're talking about going underwater and staying underwater for undetermined amount of time, undetermined amount of days. And that pressure hull has to hold it, has to hold that pressure from the water. And that's where they depend on us to do a good job and give them that comfortability that, hey, these guys have put the ability to do a good job, first time quality, and, you know, that, hey, we don't have to worry about nothing. It's almost like you stand out as far as the model excellence, and it's almost like a foundation for role model for the youth, for the younger generation coming in, even for the older guys, you know. That's something that you heard about it, you know, been nominated, but never actually been selected. And to be able to be there and say, we want it, we got it, you know, that's something that we can look back over for years and years and never forget and say, hey, we did it, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna try to do it again, you know? And that's the thing about it, you know, being a part of something that, you know, everybody came together to make it happen.
Congratulations to Stanley and the Virginia-class submarine team. Inspection is another important element to submarine construction, and our next honorees completed what was anticipated to be a 10-week inspection project in 7 days on Montana SSN 794. The inspection was unlike any the team had tackled before. Joining to tell us more about the project is James Gilliam Jr.
So as we were preparing to launch the Montana late last year, there was some information from EB that the Hull 791, which had just completed its PSA, had an issue with the retractable bow planes. And so they asked us to go perform an investigation on our boat, being we were getting ready to launch and put the sub in the water. That investigation turned up some issues that we had to go correct prior to launch. And the initial assessment from EB and from our engineering departments was that we're going to have to do a major rip out. That was going to set the schedule back 12, 16, 20 weeks, depending on the different plans we were looking at. We were able to put our heads together with some engineers and our trades team and come up with a plan that was way less invasive but still met the requirements to clear the liability for launch, and we were able to go execute it in about a week to 10 days to get us back to square one where we're at and ready for launch. And the biggest satisfaction I got was seeing those young foremen and their young crews face this adversity head on and go execute this plan we came up with to get us where we needed to be with little to no impact to the schedule. They did a really good job working in really tough conditions, real tight spots, dealing with COVID restrictions, dealing with weather out on the floating dry dock at the end of shutdown and in early January, cold, driving rain some of these days. And we've got a lot of new people that, for the most part, have never done any kind of work like this. And so it's incumbent upon myself and the other people that I work with to make sure we emphasize that the work we do needs to be done safe, needs to be done right the first time. And the big motto that we started out with this year for my team was get out of the way. And that simply means everyone else in the shipyard depends on us to do our part. So we need to get in, get out of the way for the next person to step up and do their part.
Thank you, James Gilliam Jr., and congratulations to the entire inspection team. Initiative and determination influenced Newport News Shipbuilding's safety culture in a positive way, thanks in part to a group of safety task team leaders whose passion produced results. The team is represented by Rodney Thornton Jr.
Safety is key. Recognize, evaluate, and control, and that's what we want to do. There's no one-size-fits-all area. Every area is different. Every area has another set of challenges, another set of hazards that you're going to face every day. And it's a matter of going out, being able to recognize these hazards no matter what environment you're in. I mean, we got cranes, we have trains, we have forklifts, you have rigging, you got hot work, and a bunch of different environments, and there's a lot going on in the shipyard. There's easily 30 processes that can happen in one small area. So it's just a matter of knowing what's going on, what do I need to do, what can I do, what do I need to look out for? Because if not, I mean, what I do affects somebody else. And if I don't know, then somebody else can get hurt. In 053, we have 40 work centers. And what our team does is we work to make sure that all 40 work centers are working within the same rules, the same requirements, working to the same level. Any way we can make your job better, we can give you guys tools to make your job a little easier, maybe raise something up that's super low, or maybe your job has a bunch of hazards. So we do a JSA analysis. We'll write a detailed work instruction on how to work this job safe, within the right confines. With the forklift team, we make sure that people are driving the right way, that they know the rules of the shipyard, that they obey them, and that they're safe. It's about influencing, this culture of safety, because safety is everybody's responsibility. Working with this team, I realized that everybody has value. Even though I'm a 10-year vet, we got some people on the team that have been here 1 year, 2 years, and they've caught some things that I've missed in my 10 years of being here. Also, it's nice to know that you got people, even though you're from different backgrounds, you see things the same way. You're striving for the same things because everybody has the same common goal, to work safe.
Congratulations, Rodney and the Logistics Safety Task Team. The Navy's long-term shipbuilding plan requires development of additional manufacturing capacity in the industrial base. Our next group of winners took a creative approach that resulted in a new strategic outsourcing program to meet quality and schedule requirements that would have otherwise proven too difficult or costly to execute. Here to tell us more is Jessica Boyd.
So we come together to uphold costs, safety, quality, all the pillars all together, essentially no matter how big, how small the job is. We've definitely established processes to make sure that things flow in a similar way to inside the shipyard. It's not going to be the same because they're working on smaller platforms, but we're just making sure that it's smooth. So we just all come together so that, we communicate with the buyer anytime we have an issue. We communicate with our production planners to make sure we're getting material to the suppliers on time. We make sure the material is even available. Making sure everybody understands, we're reading through procurement specs, things of that nature to make sure everybody understands what the job is at hand, first of all. And then we come together to make sure that we're getting that job completed. My particular team is boots on the ground because we're the ones that are on the deck plate with the suppliers every day. We're physically climbing the units with them, looking through the units. So we're all collectively working together to ensure that we bring back products that the shipyard can use to build ships. It's very important because A lot of people don't understand or build to the same standards that Newport News does. We provide a lot of the products that start the process here. So we're doing like pre-assemblies, things of that nature that are gonna come here and, you know, attach to something else and build the final product. So if we start off and we're not on time, then we essentially are pushing back their time for final assembly. So we made sure that whatever we're obtaining from the supplier, whatever we're giving the supplier as far as to help them complete the job, is putting them at their best chance of being successful. Like, it's a prideful thing. You feel pride because it's like, not everybody can do this, not everybody does this, not everybody understands what we do. So to be able to translate that to people around you and take pride in it is rewarding.
Join me in applauding Jessica Boyd and the Strategic Outsourcing Team. Replacing old processes with new methods requires careful planning, innovation, and a strong case to garner the Navy's confidence and support. Our next team went above and beyond to ensure all three, leading to the successful disposal of low-level radioactive liquid waste on the surface ship support barge. Representing the team is Patrick Lawnberger.
SSB has been around for many years supporting different overhaul work with the different carriers and operations throughout the shipyard and in the life of the shipyard. So it's a very special, unique component that has been around and served a lifetime here in the shipyard. That, listening to a lot of the different group, there was a presentation for all those that have served on the SSB for years, and just hearing everybody's take on it and what it's been around for and all the different people it's touched and affected throughout the many years it's been here. So our part of the project was setting up a pre-treatment system to remove all the water off the barge that we could, to make it a lighter load so we could ship it out easier, to have it go to an end user to get rid of it, and making sure that we got the water treated and take care of the systems to protect the area. And we designed all the different systems. We put protective covers where needed and setting up frames, and it's a very unique setup and very unique systems for everything that we did. And we had to weigh all the different normal system rules and requirements and look at how to get it all done in a very safe and unique manner. It's a very tight area to work in, so there was no playbook, no real good start point. It was looking at it from the beginning and trying to figure out the big pieces, the long lead time items. We had a very short turnaround, so you had to figure out what you had to take care of first to make sure that it would be here on time when you needed it. And then working on all the different parts of it downstream and making sure that as you went along, you took into account all the different pieces and made sure they would all line up in the end. Making sure you took into account all the stakeholders and all the people downstream and make sure all the paperwork was all set to go. It's a very, very challenging item, and it was a lot of fun to do, but the beginning was kind of complex to figure out where to start. But in the end, it all worked together, and we had, all the input from all the different people was great. It was a lot of fun to do. All my support groups and everybody that have been part of this, I definitely appreciate everything that they've done, and all the trades and every hour we did, and all the trades that made sure that we all stayed relaxed during this and looked at the end goal. And it might be a stressful day, but look at what we're doing and making sure we got it done and get it done safely.
Thank you, Patrick, and congratulations, team. Safety and efficiency were the watchwords when our next shipbuilding team took on repairs of a reactor scanning system at the Kenneth A. Kesselring site, where Navy nuclear operators are trained. Thanks to the team's unique approach, the Navy now has a platform to continue training qualified nuclear operators for its nuclear fleet. Here to tell us more is Jacob Novak.
I think this team is very deserving of it. I was only pulled in for a couple of months this past year to help out with this particular project, but overall the KSO project for Newport News, they battled. That was a tough first of a kind project, and I was really glad to be a part of it for the time that I was part of it. So this particular aspect of the project, the KSO Kesselring site in upstate New York, we were in with Norfolk Naval on a refueling of the training reactor that's used. We had essentially a robot that does inspections of the reactor vessel. These inspections, this data was very important to the Navy for the continued use of the reactor, as well as use of other reactors throughout the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program. So this portion, what the award is for, is this machine, which was bought by the prime contractor. It had mechanical issues, things needed to be replaced. We went in high-risk radiological controls with the vendor, which was innovative. First time we've ever had a vendor do what's called walk-in CSCA work. It's putting on anti-contamination clothings, getting into a tent and performing the work. It was difficult, it was emergent, and the team pulled through. I can't operate in a silo. Engineering shouldn't operate in a silo. We need production input on all of our products, and it was fantastic to see those organizations, the oversight, the production, the engineering, coming together, collaborating so that we could support the mission, so that we could get this job done quicker and get this machine back in to support the Navy. I don't think it's about me or Jake Novak or anything like that. It's about this team and this team getting recognized for what it accomplished. And what it accomplished was something that, in the perspective of the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program, was innovative. It was high risk, it was aggressive, and it got done within schedule to support the mission.
Cheers to a job well done. Our next group of Model of Excellence Award winners developed new technology and a new welding process to support the refueling and complex overhaul of USS George Washington, CVN 73. The new process minimizes time spent inside radiation areas and has created significant opportunity for NNS and naval nuclear propulsion systems. Please welcome Jacqueline Phillips to share more about this important project.
My team and I essentially built a piping elbow over the top of the existing one, and it was about 400 welding passes to make up the elbow. So the pipe elbow had some defects in it, and we rebuilt the whole thing with a narrower inside, a larger outside. You had to control the bead profile to meet all the dimensional requirements, and we had a very tight tolerance for thickness that had to be uniform across the elbow. And yeah, it was a lot of challenges for our welders operating in that space, and with the equipment. They had to unwind cables, rewind them to position them for the next pass, and keep a uniform deposition of metal to make sure that the stresses were not concentrated in one area. Dealing with COVID as well, the masks getting on and off the ship, the concerns that COVID was spreading, and we were all down in the compartment in a closed-in space. So it certainly was on people's minds, and we were telling each other to get rest, to eat well, and doing everything that we could because we knew that we needed each other to get the job done. It was an incredible amount of work. We did 2 elbows on the ship, but it saved personnel exposure to radiation. It saved from everything that's involved with cutting out this piece of the piping system and the contaminated water behind it, and handling all of it, bagging it. There's a lot of controls involved. There's so much to the ships, and the systems are complex, and every job matters. It takes a lot for these jobs that you may look at it and be like, oh, it's just an elbow, or it's just a cabling system, but all of those components are necessary for these critical systems to operate, and You want to make them the best that they can be, and you want to put people in positions that are as safe as possible.
Well done, Jacqueline Phillips, and congratulations, team. Experience paid dividends for our next team of shipbuilders who used a brand new welding approach on USS George H.W. Bush to accomplish leak repairs in cramped spaces safely, on time, and under budget. Joseph Stallings joins us on behalf of his team.
Yeah, we were over there in Portsmouth, Norfolk Naval Shipyard, working on the Bush, doing JP5. JP5 is jet fuel, which runs through a bunch of pipes and stuff. Gets corroded sometimes, gets holes in the pipe and they have to replace it. It was the first time we ever welded with 035 wire. And once they gave us the wire and they said, this is what you gotta do, this is the procedure, it kind of threw us for a loop. Nobody's ever, that was in our crew, or nobody's ever done that before. So we were just lost there for that. So we started from beginning, welding like unknown wire size, but trying to keep the heat down most of the time, not burning through pipes, following the procedure word by word. I mean, there are different positions, laying down, upside down, 1 mirror, 2 mirrors, and you got to be within 1/8 of an inch to a TIG weld from the tungsten. It's very hard, but it's great. I mean, I love it every day I walk in it. It kind of gives me chills sometimes you walk in here. I mean, there's always a commissioned ship in here. It's not everywhere that the Navy lets you do work on a ship. As soon as everybody starts working together, it all comes together. We all have the same goal, same mission. It's all to build ships for the Navy. It's all to get them back in their groove and get the ships back out there to sea.
Thank you, and congratulations. The next award goes to a team of shipbuilders who maintain, modernize, and repair aircraft carriers home-ported or in need of service in San Diego. Here to tell us about the amazing work this team did to earn a Model of Excellence award is Mark Tamillo.
So we have 3 Nimitz-class carriers that are permanently stationed here in San Diego. That's the USS Carl Vinson, CVN-70, USS Theodore Roosevelt, CVN-71, and USS Abraham Lincoln, CVN-72. And so our group is, we are the prime contractor for all the topside non-nuclear work on those 3 carriers. This award spanned 10 availabilities, and these are availabilities that could last in duration from a few weeks to several months. We are well known out here for our preservation efforts, namely tank preservation. We've broken all, I'll just say shattered all records across all of the shipyards for the number of tanks and voids and plenums that we can preserve. We do a lot of piping repairs, valve maintenance, and AC ventilation ducting, and also what's known as ship change documents, which are modernization changes to the ship. And a lot of these 10 availabilities were accomplished concurrently. In other words, while we may be executing on two of the ships, but we're also in planning for the follow-on availabilities. We all understand the history of the shipyard, and we understand what the company represents for the Navy in building, the nuclear aircraft carriers. And it's really the big picture. It's all about America and building ships and maintaining these ships to go out and protect this country.
Congratulations, Mark and team, on a job well done. Lessons learned from similar work on USS Gerald R. Ford played a critical role in the success of our next group of Model of Excellence Award winners when it came time to design and install similar foundations for Enterprise Air Surveillance Radar EASR arrays on the second Ford-class ship, John F. Kennedy, CVN 79. Joining us is Christina Munn to tell us more about the team's strong coordination and collaboration.
Our award was about installing foundations for radar systems in the Island House. It was different trades, ship fitters, welders. It was all different people involved working together to make sure that the foundations were able to stay in place because the dimensions had to be precise. Everyone worked together to make sure nothing shifted to have a successful installation of the foundations. This foundation matters because it's, in simple terms, helping to monitor radar for this entire aircraft carrier. It's important that it was installed correctly, that it can support the equipment that it needs to support. This is a project that was done on 78, and I learned from people that were involved with that project on 78 who gave us advice about what could make it go smoother on 79, and on 79 we had no problems. We got advice, we listened. People from that project that were on this project, everyone tried to help out to make sure it worked out. For me, I love the fact that when it comes time for CVN 80, we can try to make sure that goes smoother, and everybody from the people from 78, 79, anyone that's still here involved in that project, we can all work together to come up with a plan. It might to make it go even smoother, baby. As Christina Munn, I take pride in what I do every single day. I don't expect an award for everything. I'm honored that we were recognized. It's awesome. It's a memory that I carry. It makes me happy.
Congratulations, Christina and team. The next award goes to a shipbuilder whose leadership has resulted in significant progress in completing the advanced weapons elevators on USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN 78. We'll now hear from Construction Superintendent Derek Briggs, whose leadership has helped get Ford back on track to on-schedule completion.
It's very much a huge responsibility and a weight that you carry. It's not something you think about every day when you're in the middle of it, but when you really do get that moment to step back and reflect on what you do each day, it's definitely a responsibility that's not for the faint of heart. And of course our job is the what and the when, and we leave the who and the how with the trade and the production teams, but building those schedules, pushing the material, making sure that the right things are happening at the right time. That's our basic functions, and it's been quite a challenge with the ship in and out on FSST for full ship shock, and even before that, the year and a half before on PDT&T for those trials to get the ship ready for PSA and deployment. I'll tell you, it was unexpected for me to even be nominated. Like I said, most of the awards are team awards, and to be nominated as an individual for leadership was surprising to me, and even more surprising to win. I am a pretty humble dude as far as personal accolades, a little more brazen when it comes to the job that I'm required to do each day. So to be nominated was huge for me. I think it's a culmination of a lot of different things and a lot of opportunities that have been provided to me that have kind of led to this moment. I'm proud to be a single nominee, but it doesn't happen singularly. I have a team that works for me and around me, and it's their progress that really shows what kind of leader I've become. And I think their success is my success, and I think this is just a picture of that.
Please join me in congratulating Derek Briggs. Lines management has been an ongoing challenge for shipbuilders, especially in the ring module shop. Two leaders, Sonny Hershey and Christopher Murrell, not only implemented an immediate safe solution, but inspired a culture of empowerment among shipbuilders, recognizing the best solutions come from shipbuilders doing the work every day. Please welcome one of those leaders, Christopher Murrell.
The ring module shop, we pretty much get all the smaller components and make the huge modules. A lot of tight work and, you know, a lot of climbing up and down. We build vertical build units, but it's challenging but fun at the same time. And so I'm actually the lead of the safety task team for this division, so a lot of this, most of my time is focused on the welding lines and the lines that we need to pull to the job in order to get the jobs welded. So it's welder lines, tack lines, heater bars to heat the job up. We actually have to plug those lines up so those lines are ran everywhere. So pretty much with all of that being said, all the lines and different trades and all that we have to deal with, the lines kind of get spider webbed over time just from moving job to job and just throughout different people on and off the job, different shifts and different trades and all of that. And they become major tripping hazards, so it's always a safety issue. With all that being said, Mr. Sonny and I came together and that we just agreed to settle in this problem and sat down and discussed how we were going to do it and just took it head on, got all the managers involved. So definitely it's been carried on ever since then. Once we started that, actually other foremen, they come get us all the time and ask us, can we help them on their different modules? Yeah, I give all the thanks to Mr. Sonny. I was always into the line management, but watching him work over the years of coming up with things, that allowed me to get more involved with it. It was just fun. Like even with safety, yes, we fixed line here and there, but taking it to the extreme measures as he did, I feel it feels good, feel honored, but I truly just did it to help everybody out. Wasn't even looking for recognition or anything like that, because that's the most important part to me is each and everybody go home safe. But it definitely does feel good to know that people are watching and your work doesn't go unnoticed.
Congratulations to Christopher Murrell, and in memory of Sonny Hershey, who passed away earlier this year. Our next award winner is known for partnering with all levels of the company, and his knowledge and vision are truly leading the way in transforming our business operations. Please welcome John Glenn.
It's as special as it gets. What we do every day matters. What we do to build the Navy, to build the ships, to protect the nation, it's everything. Well, this was more than a project. It was standing up the yard-wide capacity planning group, collaborating with Ingalls. We are collaborating across all programs. Before, each footprint was owned by a different program. We now have collaborated and we've moved all of those into an integrated team that I lead. So the capacity planning group is out ahead. We're looking at future contracts. Do we have enough facility to increase the pace of VCS, to build Columbia sooner, to build more carrier products? We help make a lot of the outsourcing decisions, whether we keep the work at Newport News, whether we outsource it, what is the best fit for the overall shipyard from a multi-program view. So it's changing every day. Even though you're dealing way out in the future, You can run different parameters and get a different perspective on it every day. Well, I can't even take credit for being the individual. I won the award, but there's an entire team of people that are working on my team, and it's amazing what some of these of my team members can do. The calculations they can make, the apps they can write, the things that they can do to look into the future. It's amazing what, the talent that we have amassed here in the shipyard. This is just the beginning. So at least for the yard-wide capacity planning, maybe 2 or 3 years into it. So we've got a long future ahead of making this better.
Thank you, John, and congratulations for a job well done. Knowledge is power, and our next team created a database and mobile application to measure arc weld time. The data is proving valuable in optimizing resources and motivating employees. Representing the team is Terry Campbell.
Our reward was for changing the game for welding. Our welding app is called the Spark app. And the thing to do is keeps up track with your welding, your time, probably would say be more accurate, because they got new linking machines that they brought in, which I like them. And then, like I say, they part of the Spark app now, and to be honest with you, the welding a whole lot better, and it just is exciting. I like it, because I like to see how much arc time I actually can get. And I like to, when I did, I was the first one to bust the arc time, and I stayed the champion for a while. I don't know if I still am or not, but I know I am today. and it just motivates me to do a little bit more and keeps me going, And then I like how my supervisor or general foreman come up. If I put down some good number, you be recognized. Do you know how much arc time Cameron got in today? Where he got, where he on the computer or where he's on the phone, however it might be, you can just pull it up. It's great, I wish they would have came up with him a long time ago when I first got here. So as a team, as my crew member, what we do, like I said, we make a game out. We challenge each other. Now at the end of the day, at lunchtime, everybody want to know how much arc time I got. Or this and that. Well, who's the head? Or so-and-so the head. So I think along the line, it would help the company, help us as being welders, and if we come together and work together, it gradually, we get faster, and we stay on the job a little longer because we want to be the best.
Congratulations to Terry and the Welding Data team. The COVID-19 pandemic may have closed schools and locked down the economy in 2020, but a group of thought leaders didn't let it stop shipyard tradition. Recognizing milestones and employee achievement took on a new twist thanks to our next team of shipbuilders. Representing this innovative group is Kimberly Zayakowski.
So there are two misconceptions about events that I've heard. One is that planning events is glamorous, and the other is that virtual events must be easier. And neither could be further from the truth. There is nothing glamorous about events, and this team can tell you. But also virtual events are a lot more difficult than in person. We knew not having these events wasn't an option. We had to come together and find a way to celebrate our people and our products. And the safety of our shipbuilders and our guests had to be at the forefront of everything we planned. So over the course of this period of time, we had recognition events, we had the Massachusetts Keel Lane, we had the Montana Christening, and we had ACIBC Action Days, which is the Aircraft Carrier Industrial Base Coalition. And Montana christening is the only christening that I'm aware of from any shipyard where all of our guests were virtual and our participants were here on site. It was a beautiful, amazing event. Massachusetts Keel Lane, our sponsor, was in California. ACIBC Action Days, our executives were here on site, and then our participants were all over the country. And the feedback we've gotten on all of the events it's been fantastic. We were able to engage the people we were trying to engage and learn as we went. So we pride ourselves on not making events cookie cutter. Each event is different. It's special for our sponsor, for our crew, for our shipbuilders, for the program, for everybody. Like, we spend a lot of time on that. But these events in particular really pushed us out of our comfort zone. It's hard not having control when you're in the event industry. We work in the background to make things perfect for our guests. And when you don't have that control, it's intimidating. I'm incredibly proud of what I do for Newport News Shipbuilding. Knowing that this team is seen by company leadership as among the best of the best, no words can describe it. These people come from all over. They're doing their job, but on top of their day-to-day job, and they're giving it their all every day. We do what we do to celebrate the work that our shipbuilders do every day, and just continuing the legacy of 135 years of building always good ships and what we do for the country.
Congratulations, Kimberly and team. Well done. The COVID-19 pandemic introduced a monumental logistical challenge practically overnight as thousands of Newport News Shipbuilding employees began working from home to stay safe. The next team made it all possible by working around the clock to provide the technology needed. Joining us from the team that made it happen is Rob Mackey.
So last March, COVID-19 hit and no one knew what to expect. It was definitely an unprecedented time. You know, when Jennifer Boykin says, we can't stop working, we must move on, we must move forward, it was really, eye-opening that what do we need to do? So we looked at our suppliers. How can we increase the internet bandwidth to get these people working from home? Some people don't have laptops. We had to deploy 1,700 laptops to people who have never had one. So there was a 900% increase of the people who were working from home. You know, we went from 800 people to 6,500 people, and that's unprecedented. And they needed the tools to do their job. So they didn't have a phone. Not of them all had cell phones. So we had to deploy almost 2,200 soft phones with headsets so that they could work. USB hubs, monitors, mice, and our help desk was huge. I don't know how many calls they got in the first 2 months of, I'm slow, I can't work. Things you don't think about. You take for granted when you're sitting at your desk at work, you don't have that at home. So we had to really pull together and figure out what we could do to get these shipbuilders at home that could work from home to be safe, to be able to work, be able to do their job. We need to make sure that the ships still get built. So we were worried. We were worried, and we were worried that the business would be impacted. And that's number one, is we don't want the Navy to suffer because of a pandemic. And I think we did our best as a team to really work through it and fight through all the issues that arose. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It definitely was not perfect. But we fought through it, and we made sure that everyone could work.
Thank you, Rob, and way to go, team. To say COVID-19 has been challenging is an understatement, prompting the next team to deal with a variety of unique issues to help employees adjust. Here to tell us more about the team's efforts is Portia Valiant.
When I first got here, it's very new. Working in an HR capacity in such a large company was I kind of felt like I was drinking from the fire hose most of the time. It's a lot dealing with so many people and all of the different responsibilities. So I was trying to take in as much as possible from my managers and my peers. And once 2020 hit, it was a learning experience every single day because you were constantly putting out fires. You had new situations that came up, and we didn't have a playbook per se to know how to handle these situations. So every single day we were pretty much setting a precedent for how we were going to handle things in the future. So our team was comprised of various areas within HR. So we had to work with the clinic, we had to work with LR because we wanted to make sure we remained consistent. Our HR ops team did a lot as well, and it was a lot of cross-collaboration. We had to make sure that we communicated, and we obviously talked about every issue because you don't know what's going to come next. And it was amazing to be able to help in any way and be able to, even if we couldn't help them the way they needed to, it was great for us as a company to be able to at least have the conversation, because not every day you get to help out the shipbuilders, and especially during a time of uncertainty. So when people would call me with questions, they would explain their situations and what they were going through, and I did my best to take all the information in and provide the advice that they needed to make sure that they could breathe a sigh of relief at the end of the day. I think that every single person employed here plays a part in making us the shipyard that we are with our reputation. Everybody needs to make sure that they come in every single day, not to be recognized, just to do the job, to make sure that they're doing the best that they can to set their teams up for success. Because I always say that we're a team. I never do anything for myself. I want to make sure I'm doing things for the team to make us succeed as a team together.
How about a round of applause for Portia and her teammates? When the shipyard learned in January it would receive vaccine, an important tool for stopping the spread of COVID-19, our next team of shipbuilders worked quickly. Within 30 days, shots were being administered to shipbuilders in a state-of-the-art vaccination facility at the old apprentice school gymnasium. Here to tell us more about the team's efforts is Dashana Kemp Garnett.
So 2020 said, hey, it's going to be so much better than 2019, and then all of a sudden the world stops and COVID hits, and so we're asked to be part of this team, not really knowing what everything was with COVID, but pretty much our team was responsible for the vaccine, just making sure we understand how we're going to procure it, how we're going to get it here, and really what's the easiest way to get it to our workforce, because a lot of our workforce was taken out by COVID, whether it was impacting them with schools being closed for their children or people actually catching COVID and being outside of work. So I think early on the company recognized that we had to be the beacon of where employees could come and get this vaccine. Pretty much our team's mission was to vaccinate as much of the workforce as possible, and that was HII, that was NNS, people up in DC, people at Technical Solutions, HI Mechanical, and then some of our leased employees and contractors as well. So the old apprentice school gymnasium, that was the vaccination center, and just to see it transform from a gymnasium to the vaccine center was amazing. I mean, we thought of everything we could, like what if people need to use the restroom? Well, let's make sure we have porta potties. Well, what if it's raining? Let's make sure we have a tent out there just to make sure our people are protected. Even to the fact of just making sure they had transportation to get here, running around the clock. So there were a lot of things we thought about, and the way we were able to transform a gymnasium to a vaccine site was absolutely amazing. So I work with a very diverse group of individuals on this team. And you know, when you think about it, we had people from transportation, we had communications, we had legals, we had benefits. But everyone was able to provide a very diverse opinion on what our process should be. And I think that's what made us so successful, because everybody was so different. And one of the things that made it great was because everybody had different experiences, we were able to quickly pivot whenever we realized, okay, this process, whatever we plan, is not meeting the challenges. So we were able to quickly identify that and then go forward the next day with a better plan. So what we do here, everybody knows, is so important to the United States. We can't do that without people. And I mean, from the top of our leadership, the very senior leadership, they value the people, so we have to put them first. I mean, yes, they have a job to do, but they also have a family. And at the end of the day, yeah, we build ships, we build aircraft carriers and submarines. We do that so the military can protect us. So we have to make sure we're protecting them as well. And COVID just really exemplified what they're doing. It's all about protecting the people. And so I think we did a great job with that.
Thank you, Deshana Kemp Garnett, and congratulations to the Vaccine Task Team. Our final award is the Presidential Award. This award goes to a team of shipbuilders who continue to demonstrate the power of diversity, expertise, and perspective. Using the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention as their guide, the team meets regularly to understand the latest COVID-19 information and determine the best approach for keeping our shipbuilding family safe. Representing NNS's COVID-19 Crisis Action Group is Buddy Hutchison.
Yeah, so back March of 2020, the president of the company and some vice presidents said, hey, we need to figure out a way to combat this pandemic. And so let's form a team from across the shipyard and let's figure out what we can do to make shipbuilders safe and how we can get through this pandemic. We got together and figured out, okay, what are the things we need to get at and get after? And those were, first and foremost, how do we keep shipbuilders safe? And how do we work through this pandemic? And how do we continue to support our customers? And this team got together daily and tried to what if and throw things on the wall and figure out what we could do to combat this pandemic. As you know, and everyone out there knows, there's a lot of emotional issues that were involved in this. Hey, we need everyone to get temperature tested before they come into work. Hey, we need everyone to wear masks. Emotional subjects and emotional topics, but it was vitally important, some of the things that we did to make people safe and to make sure that lives were saved. And I truly believe that this company and all the actions we took absolutely saved lives. When we got called in March of 2020, there were very few, if any, that I recall, companies, large companies, that took the initiative to form a team like this and to be able to go what I would call on the offensive with this pandemic, versus kind of waiting to see what the state and local governments were going to do for us. We really did step out and say, okay, what can we do as a company to combat this? And I truly believe that the forethought and the initiative given by Ms. Boykin and the rest of the leaders really made a difference, and it means a lot. And I can't speak for the whole team, but I would tell you, just everyone that I've talked to, we're just so honored to be recognized for the things that we've done and to be able to make a difference in people's lives.
Congratulations, Buddy, and the entire CAG team for your continued efforts. And congratulations to all 394 shipbuilders for your hard work and dedication that earned you a Model of Excellence Award.